It's Gorilla Time.
All praises. All right. Well, first and foremost, we're gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Mashak Yahushai. It's your brother Asad, and I'm joined by my big brother Alizar Ben Lawyer, aka the Gorilla Hebrew.
That's right.
As y'all have noticed, probably, unless you've been living in a rock, under a rock rather, Alizar been putting out some music as of late rather, and I wanted to ask him what motivated you to start pushing music out.
Well, it's something that I was doing before I came into the truth. Left it alone after I came into the truth, because I didn't really have, any sort of positive message or, a message in regards to the truth, and it was just something that didn't adapt. And the thing with me too is, even now, it's why things like teaching and doing podcasts and stuff like that is perfect for me, because I have a lot to say, and being able to take all that I have to say and put it into 16 bars or whatever is, it's been difficult. It always has been. So, I just, whatever, I left it alone. Deacon came to me. He wanted to start doing it a couple years ago. I greenlit that in the spirit. Once I seen, the level he was coming with it, in the spirit, and the Lord was really, dealing with him for that ministry. And then, probably like a couple years ago, I wrote a song. Spirit was over there. I wrote a whole song. I never even ended up doing it. Bought the beat for it, everything. Never even ended up doing the song. But I never really came back to it again after that. And then,
You still have that song?
I got it written, and I got the beat.
Could they be waiting for that song to come out?
It could happen,
Okay.
On this album that's coming. It's not on that, but
Okay.
it could happen. I got to listen to it again to see if it's even, because some stuff, if it sounds dated, you know what I'm saying. You don't want to do it, you know what I'm saying. So but it's something I could revisit, or I could take, the hook and or the bars and, maybe transform over to something else. You never know how something like that will grow in the spirit. But so then came Brew Walk, and I did the whole thing on Brew Walk, me and Tazadak, kind of just playing with it, and then it really turned into something. We just did that, and I kind of was cool with that. And then came these two videos that y'all see now, which people don't understand. When we do the videos, like when we do them songs, like May or June.
It would have been right before Passover.
No, it was after that. No, I'm talking about Brew Walk. I'm talking about the two that just came out.
Oh, Respect and Not.
Yeah, that was like
Yeah,
May,
June.
maybe June, May or June. Yeah, because you still
right before I moved.
Yeah, you still was in Dallas. So people. That's what people understand. They see these videos now. Them songs that's been done. Like Not You is when DW Flame put out the Not You sounds like in the April, May.
Right,
So that's when all of that's from. But yeah, so and then I just did those two, and those were just kind of, number one, the Not You song is a song I really liked, and then to have a beat on it, I love the beat and I just love the song, so I just felt compelled in the spirit, and we'll deal with that in a minute. But then also, like, Respect These Scriptures is something I've always joked with anyway from when Blueface did the Respect My Crippin'. So it just, them just happened. There was still with that, there was not an album. You know what I'm saying? There was not none of that.
It was just something for fun.
It was just something for fun, whatever to do, and the spirit was with me to be able to write the song out, and be able to keep it for the ultimate glorification of the Most High. So, okay, but then a song came out. FBG Bigger had a song, and the way the beat was and the way he was rapping on it, I just liked it so much that bars start popping up in my head, and that literally inspired this whole album. That one song.
Is that kind of what led up to prior to you and Tazadak just messing around with Brew Walk? It's just you hearing beats and artists rap on beats like them. I could write some dope stuff to that.
Yeah, well, because it's something I did. I wrote my first rap when I was 8 years old, right? So because it was something I didn't. For people that don't know, I come from my musical family. My father has been dealing with in every genre of music his whole life. He was so cold with instruments to where my grandma said that his instructor literally said, I can't teach him anymore because he's better than me. You know what I'm saying? So this is the type of environment I grew up in. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and my pops has always kind of steered me in that direction. So, anyhow, I hear something, and, you know, nigga has some bars in his head or whatever, but just oftentimes, it's not because I was, you know, come from the lifestyle I came from. It's not something I would do being the lifestyle I live now. I'm not going to get on the song and talk about that stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But some catchy, it might be in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so how has your view on truth music changed since you became part of that?
I mean, my view really hasn't changed. I really don't, like I always tell people, I really don't listen to truth music all that much. A little bit, certain people, a little bit. There's a lot of artists that I think are really good and really dope and I like, but that doesn't mean I'm listening to them every day. Like, I really like Deacon, you know what I'm saying? But it's only a couple Deacon songs that I'll listen to regularly, even though I really love a lot of his stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, Debak in the Camp is another, you know, which you'll hear him on my album. He was on Brew Walk. Really amazing truth artist. Brother Monologue that we deal with. Great. You see what I'm saying? And that's just a couple that we're close to. It's other ones outside of, you know, even our circle. Greater Courtney Bell is a brother that's very talented as well. You know what I'm saying? So but I'm not necessarily listening to that all the time. And then, you know, sometimes I get criticized for that, but people got to understand that in listening to what they would call secular or worldly music, it keeps me very in tune with people who are not in the know. So I'm able to communicate with them because I know what's going on because I'm hip to what's going on, right?
Okay. Now you mentioned the spirit, and this is something I just thought of, and I think it totally comes full circle with this entire conversation. Do you feel like, because I think it's evident, the people whom the Lord has put around you has kind of not necessarily even forced you to be in a position where you start pushing music, but been a catalyst to you get the green light to do it now?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. Having the right pieces around, it's almost a no-brainer. You know, and the Most High, he does everything he's very strategic in all the things that he does. And then too, what hit me was in this process of doing this album, the scripture when Hamashiach talk about the parable about the man hiding his talents, and the guy that hides his talents, he said, "You wicked servant." He called him wicked for that. So it's like, you know, if I wasn't confident that it would be a good thing for the nation, or at least maybe not even the whole nation, but maybe a certain segment of the nation. You know what I'm saying? And if knowing that I feel like it would be good for a segment of this nation, to not do it would make me wicked. You see what I'm saying?
So I want to touch on that because there are a few, which I mean, there's going to be in anything you do,
That's
naysayers.
Right. That's right.
But what would you say to not just the naysayers, but just kind of speak on why it's important that you make the type of music that you do? Because you have truth music and you got certain, you know, sects within truth music, but why is
Different
it so important?
genres.
Right, exactly. So why is it important that you focus your music on that particular demographic and kind of explain why it's not wicked as certain brothers try to coin it as?
I mean, because we got to understand that you have people that are coming from different walks of life, and you also have brothers who are in these walks of life and are trying to come out of it. You see what I'm saying? And they need things that are for them as well. You know what I'm saying? People neglect it, and people like, the truth is not the church, right? So the overall message, if you pay attention to the songs, it's really not hard, right, to see the message in the songs, right? But if the overall message is positivity, it's uplifting the Most High, it's scriptural, I don't see the problem. Like if a brother came out with a damn heavy metal album,
right.
but the lyrics were about the I mean, there are there's blacks and Hispanics that are into that music.
The Afro punk.
They're like heavily.
Yeah.
So if somebody did that, it may not be for you.
Exactly.
You may not listen to that, but you can't knock the brother
Exactly.
who did it. You see what I'm saying?
I believe there's a scripture in the book of Sirach. It says, prove what is good for your own soul, for all things are not made for all men.
For all men. That's right.
So yeah.
That's exactly it. So prove what's good for your own soul. If this is good for you, if it's not, like, you know, especially when Respect These Scriptures came out, you know, Not You, we're recording this now, Not You's been out a day.
Right.
So I haven't heard all the backlash about Not You yet.
Right.
But Respect These Scriptures was out for 2 weeks. And, you know, you had people upset about it. And it's like, bro, the song is called Respect These Scriptures.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Respect the Bible. You know, Proverbs 13:13. He who despises the word shall be destroyed. This is the message of this song. I don't understand how we're gonna strain at gnats. You know, Yahweh Shai was very specific on y'all straining at gnats. You're missing the point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and a lot of times I see, like you mentioned, this isn't a Christian church. A lot of people come into the truth, and I'm even guilty of this, and they totally cast everything to the wayside in the sense of, well, I can't rap. That's the other world. It gotta go. But you can use things like rap, things like sports, entertainment, etc., to push the truth.
That's right. Exactly. And when you understand how to do it, it's overwhelmingly effective. You see what I'm saying? It becomes very effective when you understand how to do it and you're doing it right, and you're not, Yahweh Shai, when he was around the publicans and the sinners, he was around them, and he's not participating in their sin, but if he's with them,
right,
he's doing what they're doing. He's not doing the wickedness that they're doing.
Exactly. But
if they're kicking it or whatever the activity is, he's partaking in the activity. We know Hamashiach he drank wine. We know this for a fact. I know people try to utilize him drinking wine to crutch alcoholism, which that's not what it was. They accused him of being an alcoholic and a drunk just because he drank. But if we know how many times you see brothers just sitting around in the cipher sipping, Yahweh Shai was sipping with them, but also he was shining as a light amongst them.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what people don't understand is, we are whoever we are. The Most High took us through whatever path in life and brought us into the truth for a purpose. A lot of times people think you just totally shun what the path the Most High took you through, not realizing there was positives that you learned along that way. You take the positive and you outgrow the negative, and you're able to utilize the negative as a testimony of what not to do and what the Most High brought you through for his glorification. But you don't just totally just look like, oh, I'm gonna just forget that this is where I came from. No, because there's other people that are going through that path, and you need to be able to help guide them on that path. And the thing is, and I didn't have that. I didn't have nobody to do that for me, but I now can do that for other people. You see what I'm saying? As the Most High, my name's Alazar. The Most High helped me. Now I help you. You see what I'm saying? He's enabled me to help you in carrying you along this path. You know what I mean?
And just going back to that point, of course there's been negative feedback, but just kind of explain and touch upon the positive feedback that you receive, not just from people in the truth, but specifically people in the world,
Okay.
because I'm sure there's been both sides.
Certainly.
Right? So, and that's your target demographic. Of course, is Israelites
Brother
in the
in
truth, but you want to reach
help get that world and pull them up in there.
Exactly. So, kind of just explain the feedback that you receive from them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the overwhelming majority of the feedback. I would say easily 90% of the feedback that I've received on Respect These Scriptures has been positive from the world. All positive. In the truth, about 90% positive. But people are they're impressed at it, or they understand it. They like the rhyme scheme, the way my flow switches. You know what I'm saying, on the verse, things like that. So they respect it on the artistry aspect. They really like the visual. I mean, overall, it's very well received. Though, of course, like you said, with anything we do, it's going to be naysayers.
Okay, how many more projects do you think you're going to put out? Are you just going to see how this one goes and then take it from there, or do you have a number in your mind?
I just go in the spirit. Everything got to be in the spirit. So just like all of these songs that you're going to hear on this album, and all this it comes in the spirit. So I can sit down and somebody can play a beat, and I can start, and nothing will come because the spirit's not with it. When it's supposed to come, the spirit will have it, or the spirit will have me build slowly, maybe a couple here and a couple there, because it's not the same. Like for me, it's not the same like when I was in the world and I could just rap about whatever. I've got to really think about what I'm saying. I got to make sure that glory is being given to the Most High, and that if I say anything negative, that I make sure I complete it positively. How I was brought out of this, how I used to do this, how people need to stop doing these things. When you're just in the world, you can just rap about anything you want. You see what I'm saying? So that is a challenge for me, and not it's a challenge that I'm willing to accept, but it doesn't come as easy as it did previously, as far as when I didn't have that challenge. So it's got to be in the spirit. There may not be anything after this, and there might be something.
Gotcha.
It's all up to the Most High.
What are the things that you want people to take from this album? Like, what is your mission statement in this project?
It's my testimony. It's a testimony in the form of song. So when you hear about respect, when you watch Respect These Scriptures, but especially Respect These Scriptures is certainly a testimony, but Not You is really like a testimony. You see what I'm saying? And it's my own personal testimony as far as me coming into the truth. So with that being said, it's just, this is just another extension of me and my expression, and that's something I've been speaking about as well, is people trying to suppress self-expression, brother's self-expression, and how evil it is to do that. But this is just me expressing myself in the form of song. It's an extension, to accompany teaching and stuff like that.
Okay. You mentioned you want to use this music platform to help brothers that feel like they have talents that they maybe aren't exuberating at the best of their abilities. What would you want to say to brothers that maybe wanted to do music, and not just music, because I don't want to limit it to just that,
Of course.
but to any talent that they may have and either didn't have the courage or felt like people would talk about them negatively? What do you want to say to them to kind of uplift them and give them the motivation to do whatever they feel like would benefit the Most High's truth?
Yeah, just do it. Just make sure, however you're doing it, it's for the truth, and then just do it. You know what I'm saying? People are gonna have something negative to say. It doesn't matter what you're doing or how good you're doing it. There's gonna be somebody out there that's overrighteous. Scriptures talk about being not overrighteous. You got a whole bunch of overrighteous people, overrighteous, self-righteous, holier than thou brothers and sisters out there that are going to disagree with whatever you do. There's people, we teach. People have a problem with our teaching. So how much more any other thing we do, exactly. Right? So what you got to do is put that out of your mind, the care of that. You see what I'm saying? Because that care can deter you. It's deter me from doing things throughout the course of my walk. But I'm at a place now in the spirit where I truthfully don't care. If I feel like I'm finna do this, like I know when I'm doing a Not You video and I'm putting on the orange rag on my neck and all the various stuff I do, somebody's gonna have something to say about this. Somebody's gonna take this song and this visual that's literally about coming out of being in a gang and say that I'm glorified. I know somebody's gonna say that. Absolutely. Because they're assholes. Yeah. And they're just gonna they judge according to appearance and not righteous judgment. But if you pay attention when it goes from this to us holding camp teaching somebody, they're not paying attention to what's going on here. You know what I'm saying? So the hell with worrying about what these people got to say and what they think. You know what I'm saying? Because, excuse my French, but fuck them. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. They, in their opinion of you, your salvation is not predicated upon this motherfucker's opinion. It's just not. You just got to make sure that you search them scriptures and that you know what you're doing is not wrong according to these. And that's what matters.
And I feel like the overwhelming vast majority of the negative feedback comes from, the root of it is a lack of understanding of scripture. That's and right. Something as simple as this. A lot of our people, they know it, but they don't internalize and understand that this book was written by blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's right. So the same way as our people can take rapping or whatever and use it for bad, you can also use it for good. What do you think the book of Psalms is about?
They forget what Psalms, and like we said, we've gone into how the women of Israel sung about all the bodies David and Saul caught. So so this type of music that our people are making now, we've been making this stuff. It just wasn't. We just didn't have a file, but we knew how to play instruments, and we would sing these songs, bro. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Can we expect you to perform these? I don't see you on the stage.
I don't know about that. Okay. Well, I guess we'll see. Because I remember when Deacon did his show here, everybody was talking about Brew Walk. I said, listen, they're going to have to pay a lot more money for Brew Walk, man. Only because I'm going to need a lot of motivation to...
Someone's going to isolate that. Here's how crazy it is, y'all. We're not making this. Somebody's going to isolate what he just said right now. See, that's what it's all about.
See, exactly, because that's what we're doing. It's going to go, okay, well, what about all these years of free Bible teaching I've given you, and I'm going to keep giving you.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So if you're mad about somebody charging for something else, I gave you this knowledge and wisdom, understanding through the Spirit for free.
Absolutely.
For hours, and that's always our primary. We got something going on outside. People forget they looking at the studio right now. All this stuff costs money. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We got Conowar behind the camera. I mean, this is a guy with a resume in the industry, and he's recording us for pennies on the dollar for what he's worth. But it still costs. He still needs to be compensated. Mm-hmm. So like Deacon said, I mean, I'm putting this album together. I'm probably going, I might break even. You know what I'm saying? But it's not just for nothing. You know what I mean? But Israel is they're just once I really seen what it was, that there's no pleasing these niggas, we stopped trying to please them.
Brother's been putting out videos free of charge, and it's going to continue on if we are here for years to come. Listen, I'm sure the brother could attest, if the album flop, that's not going to have any impact on us putting out the truth.
Yeah, now y'all got to pay me for Flux Fridays.
Right.
Nah, hey, we going to be live 3 hours on Friday. You know what I mean? Tune in, brother. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be on the street. The video's going to be out. You know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, that's kind of the Patreon 25. I'm like, you ain't got to pay it. I'm just saying, if you want to hear it before it's free, you just support. But you don't have to. You can still wait until Black Friday. It's going to be on YouTube for free, Spotify. It's going to be on all that stuff. So, number one, going back to the Patreon point, I typically put things out earlier on Patreon as far as that goes. So, like the Patreons who've been on Patreon on any tier level subscription heard Respect These Scriptures and Not You in September. Mm-hmm. Everyone else here now. So that's the point of, you can pay this now and you can get this stuff early, or you can wait and you'll hear it when everyone else hear it. But everybody that's Patreons, they heard these two records in December. Everybody who's Patreons, they saw both of these videos early. You see what I'm saying? So you can see it early, or you can wait. Either way, it's all in the spirit, and you're gonna support, and it's all for everybody anyway. But if you want to get that extra support, get on Patreon. You can see it early. All
praises. So, Respect These Scriptures.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first single.
No, these are just the warm ups.
These are warm ups
because these ain't on the album.
Okay.
Them is other people's songs that we redid. So these are just warm ups.
Okay, so describe, before we talk about the other songs. Mm-hmm. Describe first Respect These Scriptures.
Okay, well, Respect These Scriptures, of course, is a remix of Blueface, Respect My Crippin', right? When Blueface came out, a lot of people know him more popularly for Bust Down Tatiana or whatever. But if you go before that, it was Respect My Crippin', what's that? Sliding Down Your Block, right? And I Bleed It. And I think he had one more.
He had one with YG. I can't remember what's it called. He's in the music video. He's in the football field.
No, that's the remix. That's Tatiana remix.
That's Tatiana remix. Okay.
Yeah, he had one more.
Okay.
Yeah, but so he had them songs, whatever. So he especially on the West Coast, he had a lot of impact. But everybody, we was kind of like making fun of him because the way he rapped, like he was kind of offbeat. Mm-hmm. But that Respect These Scriptures, like or he had to give a fuck if you like it, but you gonna respect this crippin'. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom. So it kind of just, I always had to Respect These Scriptures in my head since I heard that. Mm-hmm. But then the whole hook developed. So what was it? Give a fuck if you like it, but you gonna respect these scriptures, right? Lost a debate night, crying, man, these niggas bitches. So it's just about, mainly about debating. Everybody knows us through the Spirit of the Most High for debating, right? So it's kind of like a debate song. Give a fuck if you like it, bitch, you gonna respect these scriptures. Lost a debate night, crying, man, these niggas bitches. That's happened to us a million times. We had a debate and a nigga is crying about it. Yeah. Duck and Phase, we at your door like a freaking witness. In retrospect, I remember I talked to Deacon about it. In retrospect, I probably should have said Jehovah Witness, because freaking, I just didn't like it, but I didn't want to say fucking again, right? Because I already said it. So I said freaking, but it's like, damn, I really could have just said Jehovah Witness. And basically, when we really want it with somebody, we coming for them, knocking at their door like a Jehovah Witness. Mm-hmm. And then, like, man, I'm like, yeah, I was shy about my father, but we take this truth very serious. You see what I'm saying?
That's how we gotta do this. We gotta break this down like how they do it on Genius.
Exactly. It's like a Genius. Exactly.
Okay,
So then how I start. Then it's hop in the ring. You're gonna need more than memes, hopes, and dreams. Because this is what a lot of people arm themselves with and call themselves debaters on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram comment boards, and even silly enough to click the link when they're provided. And all they got is memes, hopes, and dreams. And I'm telling you, when you get in this ring, you need more than that. This is why you keep coming up short in the spirit of the Most High, because you're armed with nothing. You showed up to a bomb fight with a butter knife. With a plastic butter knife. And this is not even a gunfight, nigga. It is a bomb fight. You know what I'm saying? Remember on, 30 Minutes or Less? He's like, you brought a gun to a bomb fight.
You know what I just thought of is Anchorman. When remember when they're fighting, and what's it, Steve Carell's his name? When he's just walking around with the grenade?
Exactly. That ain't enough.
Right.
You need more than memes, hopes, and dreams. These doctors got you more bugged out than a smoking fiend. You see what I'm saying? You niggas is worse than crackheads with the stuff y'all believe.
Yeah.
Then it's, the Lord made SICARRI a ferocious team. It's important because we're acknowledging that it's not by our own accord.
Absolutely.
The Most High has done this. You see what I'm saying? It's His work and it's marvelous in our eyes. We didn't do this on our own. So that's the whole point where I said earlier, you got to make sure that the glorification is going where it needs to go. We're not like this based upon ourselves. We're like this based upon the Most High just gave us this spirit and gave us this knowledge, was my understanding to do this. Right? He could have did it to anybody, could do it to anybody else. The Lord makes SICARRI a ferocious team. We fully loaded carnivores looking for the beef. We're what's up? You know what I'm saying? We want the smoke. You know what I'm saying? Come on now, right? Boom, it's the alpha predator. So that's the thing of course, anybody when you're familiar with SICARRI, we deal with this predator thing. And then of course they call it a super predator. So we took that, we ran with it. We got the shirts with the predator on it, things of that nature. But then with the recent, and I've always liked the Predator series. My pops, young, long dreads, they used to call that nigga the Predator back in the day anyway. So with that, like I said, I'm big on the Predator franchise. So then they put out the new Predator. With the new Predator, they came out this nigga, the Alpha Predator, who was bigger, the black and gold Predator, huge, regular Predator. He's destroying them. But they went, the concept is they went all around to all these different planets and took the top predators of each of these planets and merged their DNA and made this alpha predator. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say it's the alpha predator. Got you running like, of course, like a campaign, got you running like Senator. Team full of menaces. Been the blessed bitches Genesis, because that's when Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was chosen back in Genesis. Right? Used to be with hella crip selling zips, now it's fellowship. Showing you. So I came from gang banging, selling drugs. Now I just fellowship with my Aki. You see what I'm saying? It's the yellow convicted felon that made an exodus. So of course, I'm light skinned, right? That's obvious. I'm a convicted felon, and I made an exodus. I exited from what? Then the next line, from death to sin. Round one, let's begin. I'm going back to the debates. The Lord gave me this breath to win. Again, acknowledging the Most High for giving us the ability. Because even going into debates, what I tell the Most High is just, let you be true and every man a liar, and simply utilize me as a vessel for your truth, right? Because every man is a liar, right? But the Most High, He's the truth. So if you're speaking His words, that's when you're telling the truth, right? So the Lord gave me His breath to win. You're gonna need the ref to end this shit real early, like like Conor McGregor. You know what I'm saying? The ref just kind of, all right, this is over. Real early, you effeminate, real girly. You can say I'm a little worldly because that's what they're gonna say, right? But I stand on the scriptures firmly. That's my response to you saying I'm a little worldly. I stand on the scriptures firmly, firm as hell. These devils can burn in hell, right? Really been burned by shells because I've been shot before. Really used to serve as shell, sold drugs as shell. And I know I make you nervous, but the purpose for you to learn what's real. So even though this may be intimidating or off-putting, you not like it, the whole reason for me saying anything is for you to learn what's real, for you to learn the truth. You see what I'm saying? So that's basically, the verse, breakdown, and then of course we back on the hook. On the visual, it came out, like I envisioned it, that spot, the abandoned bowling alley over there on Glenwood. I've driven past it a million times.
Yeah.
You know, because you're with me at least 500,000 of those times.
Yeah.
And it just, every time I go by, like, it's dope. And what's crazy is, remember we drove by it the night that, like a week later, we drive by it and they're shooting a music video at that month.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody shooting a music video. I'm like, yeah, we'll beat you niggas to it. You know what I'm saying?
And what's crazy is I remember around Passover, when we drove by it, like, man, that'd be a dope spot to shoot a music video.
And
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's crazy is too, right after we shoot it, there's new tags there. So like a lot of the stuff that was there has been covered up. So a lot of that stand your ground, like when I boom, we got the stand your ground. It's not even there. Somebody that sprayed over that. You see what I'm saying? So the Most High, you know, He put it all together. He put it all together the way He put it together.
So, you mentioned the alpha male, basically going around, or not alpha male,
Alpha
predator.
predator.
We are alpha males in SICARRI.
That's right.
As well as alpha predators.
That's damn right.
Basically, they go around and take all the genes and merge it into one super alpha predator. And I can attest to SICARRI was a very diverse group of brothers.
That's right.
And do you think that the target demographic that you've catered to with this music is going to help kind of take some more genes from the gene pool to kind of make an even bigger alpha predator?
I hope so. You know what I'm saying? I really hope so. It's very important that we have this diverse array of brothers, so we're not one dimensional. You know what I'm saying? Very important in the spirit.
Now transitioning to your next song, Not You.
Not You.
Just kind of describe how that came about, and then of course, you know, go into the meanings behind the lyrics.
Okay, so Trey D from the East Side is legendary. Has a artist that he's bringing out that's, you know, from his community, DW Flame. That's also a community artist, SICARRI camp, SICARRI Long Beach campus, over there in the heart of that area, over there east side of Long Beach, right there on PCH in Long Beach Boulevard. So I started listening to DW Flame with that song, with Not You. That's the first song I probably had heard of him a little bit before that, but that's the first song that made me really like, okay, I really like, he's dope. I like him a lot. So, you know, and even that, you know, that community that set Insane, Long Beach Insane, you know, from, you know, one of the a very influential mentor in my life is from that area. You know what I'm saying? When I first moved to California, one of the first older OGs that took me up under their wing was Big Crazy Crip from Long Beach Insane. So that's always, and then of course, you know, one of the main places I was at in California, in Oceanside, California, you have a branch of Insane that's there as well. So I've always been close to the Insanes. So I really start listening to him, liking his music, and that beat. The song was just crazy. So just from hearing this so many times, the first couple lines was already, I had already written them just from listening to him. Train hand, H-hand, that's the gangland, right? That had been in my head, right? And so for people to understand, when Trey hand, H-hand, that's the gangland. So just from, you know, coming from the 8 Trey Hoovers, when you know, throwing up an 8 with your hands is a difficult thing. Some people attempt to do it. You know what I'm saying? We really don't attempt to do it. You know what I mean? We just skip that part, boom, 3rd Street 80s, boom. Trey hand, H-hand, right? Boom, boom.
Get your screenshots.
You see what I'm saying? Get the screenshots ready. So when they see me, boom, Trey hand, that A Trey Hoover, right? Okay, cool. Trey hand, H hand is the gangland. So boom, let niggas know. Boom, A Trey Hoover is where I'm from, essentially. Okay, cool. And then hop out on orange like a spray tan. Of course, orange is, you know, the Hoover color. Everybody know that come from the Astros hat. Or for people that don't know, that come from the Astros hat. And then hop out on like a spray tan. The like a spray tan come from, you know, when the white people, when they spray tan, they turn orange. You know what I'm saying? So boom, that first it was H-hand, Trey hands, the gangland, and then that second part came. But that's all I had, and I'm like, well, I can't just, you know, I'm not just gonna get on the song and rap that, because I'm not doing gang bang music. You know what I'm saying? We're not gang banging. We're Bible banging now. You know, me teaching the scriptures. So that song, every time I hear the song, that them bars would be playing in my head, and I said, okay, what's next? Like, how can I make this into a positive now? Boom, hop out on it. Then I seen some brothers with Bibles in their hand. I said, oh, here it come. And then the rest of it just came. Telling me how we fall into the devil's game plan. So now it's like, okay, it's describing me where I was and what people, I've spoke on this before. The day I came into the truth, the day I saw my first video, was first exposed to the truth, it's the same day. It's August 3rd, 2008. I come in the house and I see brothers with Bibles in their hand telling me how we fall into the devil's game plan.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So this is literally a testimony of me coming into the truth. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't happen exactly like the video, of course, but it's essentially like the video.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Explain why it's so important for them, because you got, won't mention any names, but in the Christian community, we of course know that there's Christian rappers, hip hop, etc. A lot of it is just too soft, though, too sweet. So it's very important for brothers in the world that are in that lifestyle to see individuals like you and others who were once a part of that and are now transitioning into what's evidently the truth.
Yeah.
Is that something that you, before pushing music out, you're like, you know what, I'm going to do it because I have a passion for music, but I also want to, let brothers know that
you can do it too. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm no better than you. And that's a very important message to understand, because I've heard people try to use that excuse, or that maybe deter them, the fact that, but people got to see it. Esau, he's very divisive in what he does. So like, even there's like a huge peak in interracial dating as far as black women with white men.
Yes.
You've seen brothers get with white women for a long time, but the black woman was not really getting with Esau like this in the 90s, even in the early 2000s like they are today. But through media, starting with Scandal, and through almost every TV show and movie right now, they're showing it. In every ad campaign, they're really making it like this is the normal new American family.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris is now vice president, they're propping her up, of course, as a black woman, though she's an Edomite. They're propping her up as a black woman. And you see what I'm saying? So they've pushed this out here, and because they've pushed it now, we're actually seeing it more in your day-to-day life. Like you said, you was just at a slave plantation, and the sister was there with a white husband at the slave plantation. I'm like, what type of date idea is that?
You can't make that stuff up.
You know what I'm saying? So they pushed that, but the thing was, before they pushed it, the black woman was not going to the white man as much because she couldn't see herself with him. Once she saw, now she feels like she can do it because she sees it now. See what I'm saying? So even though that's on the wicked side, they pushing that. On the righteous side, it's the same thing. You used to do X, Y, and Z. Look, we're doing it. So that's why, we harp on it more now. The lifestyles that we came from, we have to talk about it more, so brothers who are coming from something similar can conceptualize, damn, they came from the same thing I came from, and now look at where these brothers are at. You see what I'm saying? So it's very important we harp on that. Myself and Deacon, Cat from the sports perspective. You see what I'm saying? Harping on these things like, yes, I pursued basketball very seriously. Now look, you know what I'm saying? If I really wanted to try, they could at least pay me to go to Europe or something. You know what I'm saying? At least.
Right.
But now look, you know what I'm saying? So it's important. You know what I'm saying, for brothers to see that.
And what's super cool about it, I just thought popped in my mind. We combat Christianity in the way that they took the scriptures that belong to us and then twisted them for our demise. In the same way we take music, for example, that's got a lot of white people that are writing the checks to get our people to produce music that just glorifies us killing each other. So it's on both fronts, and on a music level and of course on a scriptural level, we're fighting both of those negative things with righteousness.
That's right.
But in closing, are there any final words that you wanted to say to the people about the music, when and where they can expect to listen to it? And are there any artists in Israel that you would like to work with in particular?
In closing, let me think about this verse real quick. If there's any parts of the verse I want to highlight. Bibles in their hands and that was game plan. Okay, so what's the next line? Okay, wait a minute. That's the next line. Wait a minute. We really ain't each other's enemies. So this is me speaking from learning about how we're all this one people. You see what I'm saying? And we're really not each other's enemies. We have enemies that exist outside of us that are much more of a threat to us than we even can be to each other. And then boom, it flashes back to me teaching. First it was heroin and crack and methamphetamines. Just going into how they dumped heroin on us in the 70s, crack 80s, 90s, and then from the early 2000s to now it's meth. Mm-hmm. And people don't understand, you know, because it's not quite kind of the same everywhere, but especially on the West Coast. I mean, everybody's doing meth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You black people, Hispanic people, white people, Samoans, they're all deep into meth use right now. You know what I'm saying? That's really something that's plaguing us. Methamphetamines, selling dreams, which is how we were sold a dream, be it the American dream, even if it's the goddamn Scarface dream. We're sold dreams in this place. We're sold these BS dreams, but we were destined for better things. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's our pedigree, alluding to the kingdom. Slave ships, my nigga, that's what we came in, Deuteronomy 28:68. Grave pits, my nigga, that's what we stay in. We're constantly dying. We're killing each other. The white man's killing us. We're poison. We're just everything. Spaceship, swing lows, when we praying a play off a swing low, sweet chariot coming forth to carry me home. Pray that, you know, the chariots of the Most High deliver us out of this place. And then, you know, here's a cool thing. I know somebody's gonna take this and say I'm glorifying the gang life, when the next line is what? Fuck this gang shit, my nigga. That's what we're saying. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really not about shit. Then I go to exposing that. Cops ride by, you niggas ain't doing anything at all. Niggas ain't busting at the cops, pressing a line on the cops, at all. Another group of brothers pass by, you're going to shoot at them. Right. You niggas will get the busting, crack the gentrify. You niggas won't even touch him. Your neighborhoods are getting taken, and all you're doing is complaining about it. Right. You ain't going to no damn city hall meeting. You ain't trying to invest in no real estate. You're not trying to intimidate these new homeowners who are gouging you on rent out of there. You won't even touch them. Then you get some money when you start winning and you up now. You look at your homies like, fuck y'all are in poverty still. I'm later for y'all. These are niggas you was with. Right. It's just showing you that, exposing the level of bullshit, because even going back to the line about selling dreams, even to involve yourself in that lifestyle, we're sold a dream. When I was a kid, I was sold a dream that all I was gonna do was get money and fuck bitches, and I was just gonna have all of these niggas that I would be able to count on and depend on, and their undying loyalty. And then once you really start getting up in there, and time goes, you start realizing that every nigga's in this for himself. And it was all bullshit, and nobody tells you about being in jail, and nobody prepares you for the grief of losing loved ones. You see what I'm saying? Nobody tells you that this little girl that you like, that is hype on you because you're a member of this gang. Also, you're not the only member of this gang that she's hyped on. She should go fuck you. Should go fuck your friends. You see what I'm saying? And then you're heartbroken about this. But you see what I'm saying? This is all the stuff that either you're gonna experience or you're gonna look at when you involve yourself in this shit. Then you got homies hating on each other, and you could go and ask poll any gang member, right, who really came up in this shit. The internal beef that happens is worse than any external threat. Niggas crossing each other, stealing from each other, fighting each other, wanting to kill. I've seen niggas really try to kill their own nigga that's like this, but not do anything to other people who are posing threats to them. Not nobody. So it exposes this is, but like Hamashiach taught us, anything of a corrupt tree will only bring forth corrupt fruit. So even though conceptually you look at it like, oh my, like it's positive, this is about togetherness and loyalty and camaraderie. It is about that at first, but then it takes a turn because this comes from a corrupt tree of self-hate. So there's no way that it's actually ever going to be good. It can't be good. So we have to put that behind us. But what we don't do is act like it for those of us that have been involved with that, like it hasn't molded us into who we are. Leadership, camaraderie, loyalty, things like that. These are all attributes of mine that I literally learned from that. So if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be an adequate leader if I didn't first been thrust into leadership there. Right. You see what I'm saying? So we don't, you know, we were initially taught to forsake it, but we forsake the negative, we take the positive, and we don't deny that, you know, we're a part. I certainly was a part of that. You see what I'm saying? That's certainly a part of what made me me. And now the powerful thing about it is now when it's homies, you know what I'm saying, that even if it's not a homie, if it's somebody from another gang, but when they see Guerrilla Hebrew, they go, oh, that's a Hoover nigga. You see what I'm saying? And now look, you see what I'm saying? So the homies from Hoover that watch it go, they got a sense of pride to see that. You see what I'm saying? Right. So it's actually, instead of me acting like that part of my life didn't happen or just F that, now it's like, oh, that's the homie, and now look at him. You see what I'm saying? You go ahead.
And I just wanted to touch up on, a lot of times, like, for example, when we'll debate somebody about the 12 tribes chart, we'll always say, well, look, if you're going to try to take this away from us, replace it with something.
Yeah, what are you going to give us?
And so what, just hearing you describe it, what the music is kind of doing is, for brothers that are either in it or considering being a part of that lifestyle, it's serving as kind of not only a deterrent from that, but also, look, you shouldn't do this, and here's something even better for you to do, because I've lived it, and here's what I have now that's better than that.
And that's what's missing in a lot of times where a lot of people are trying to deter this. You got a lot of OGs now that's speaking out and saying, oh, the stuff we were doing was stupid, and we're trying to keep the young niggas out of it. But what are you giving these young niggas?
Right.
Because as a young so-called black or Hispanic man, there's a need that you have for brotherhood. There's a need that you have for being a part of an organization. There's a need that you have to represent something.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? There's something that you gotta, I gotta represent something. You know what I'm saying? And we're taking that away, but we're giving it to you too. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We're giving you a nation to represent. We're giving you your God, your king. Then we have camps, we have organizations that you now can be a part of. You see what I'm saying?
So all the negative things all the positive things that you think you're getting from a gang.
With none of the negative.
With none of, exactly.
Eliminating the negative.
See, that's a beautiful thing. So, anything you wanted to say in closing?
I'm just grateful, all praise to the Most High, for those of y'all that are enjoying the music and stuff you heard. I hope you enjoy more of it. The album, of course, is going to be everywhere Black Friday. You want it earlier, go to the patreon.com/SICARRI. I just hope people are getting enjoyment out of it, that are, and if you don't like it, you know what I'm saying, you don't have to like it. It's certainly not for everybody by any means, but this is it's just another aspect of my testimony. I hope y'all enjoy, and ultimately all is for the glorification of Abanaw Yahweh by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua,
All praises. All right, but with that, again, of course, we got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Shai. Say shalom. And if you don't like his music, I got a double album coming out with some yard.
That's right.